Chair, review.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good to be back. Good to come back off of a really impressive showing by our kids and a big road win for our program. I know everybody is the best feeling in the world. Saturday night is a great scene in our locker room, and just an incredible time with the players after the game, and it made for a really enjoyable plane ride home. So the food tastes better today. The sun is brighter, and the air is a little more fresh, and so it's winning helps a lot of things. So excited to get a big road win over a very, very good opponent in a very challenging atmosphere and situation. Should be a win we can build on, and looking forward to being back at home this weekend in front of a home crowd in Daddy Ficklin Stadium, expecting a large crowd, and excited about the matchup with Charleston Southern. So, questions?
Coach, a lot of the better ECU teams over the course of time have had really good tight ends, guys like Luke Fisher, Crumpler, Richards, and now you got a guy in Shane Calhoun that's really making some noise and looking the part. Talk about what that's done for your offense.
Well, I said during preseason camp, I really like our room there. It's one that we've worked very hard to build over the last couple of years. So it's something that's important in our offense, and it was, there wasn't anything there, really positionally when we got here. So, Shane, I said during preseason camp, I think he's got a chance to be, really special because he can do everything. He hadn't been healthy here early in the season, so really last week's probably the first time he's been at full speed, and I think that showed. I think that some of the matchups that we got Saturday night, and then Donnie did a good job of putting us in situations, and Holton and Shane executed to where we could take advantage of those matchups. But I like the other guys in that room too. I thought Zach Bird had a solid game blocking. Aaron Jarman was in there a good bit, special teams and blocking, and Ryan Jones continues to develop there too. So I think we've got a really good room right there.
Coach, I know there are a lot of critics of Holton after the first couple games, but you stood strong in your support of him. Can you give us your analysis of his growth 3 games into the season, where you see him developing now with this first part of the season completed?
Well, I think obviously you saw, a subpar performance against South Carolina. He'll tell you that. And I thought you saw a really good performance the other night. And, the thing is, I watch film every day, multiple hours, and watch practice every day, and spend a lot of time evaluating every piece of this program. And so I promise you, we're going to put the guys in the field to give us the best chance to be successful in every position. And it's a deal where it's an open competition everywhere across the board, every day, every week. It's the reason you see guys playing. It's the reason you see Elijah Morris last year getting the opportunity he got. It's the reason you see guys making plays that maybe hadn't been on the field. The guys are going to be on the field to give us the best chance to win. And I believe in Holton. I know what he can do. Watch him in practice. It was good to see him go out and play. I thought he was very confident and very loose, and I thought he was very determined last week. And I think he went out and he played very, very well. His decision making was good. I thought did a good job with his accuracy. I thought he did a good job against a lot of pressure of not putting the ball at risk. We had one ball on the ground, and it's just he needed to tuck that one a little bit faster. But he had some pressure the other night, and I thought he played very, very well. So he was a big reason we won the ball game.
Coach, you guys have had some valiant comeback attempts in games similar to that, but to actually take the lead and then make the play to close it out in a tough environment against a good team, what does that do for this team's confidence and kind of their development going forward?
Well, I think it's the piece of learning how to win, and we've been talking about it since I got here. You look at some of the close losses we've had, and last year you had some heartbreakers. So I think it was good to be in that situation where, the kids throughout the fourth quarter didn't flinch, and especially, after getting the touchdown, going out there for the onside kick. I thought we had confidence in the huddle for the onside kick. I thought we had, winning it, gives you a lot of momentum going into this home game against Charleston Southern. So, I think it's a huge win for our program, and you did it against a quality opponent who had blown out 2 teams coming into that game. You did it against a program that has, they have won for the past, 8-10 years consistently. 7-win team last year, picked to win Conference USA this year. At their place, a lot of stuff going against you. I mean, you didn't go in there and beat just some slouch. You beat a quality team, and you beat them. Playing your freaking tails off. And so I just think there's a lot that can come out of that positively for the program.
Coach, going back to the onside kick, afterwards you said we got the look we wanted. With 3 timeouts, if you didn't get that look, was the plan to kick deep then?
Well, there's a lot of variations off that deal. So you had a plan if you didn't have the look there in the middle. So we work it a couple times a week, every week, and there's lots of pieces to it. And so, the piece that was there, I thought we executed very well to secure the ball.
To look at Charleston Southern here, what is the mental challenge of coming off of that win, obviously, but regrouping and not letting that stray too much in this week, I guess?
I think it's the opposite end of the spectrum of what it was when I stood up here last week. Last week, we stink, we have no shot, everybody needs to give up and all that stuff. Now it's the other end of the spectrum, so it's balancing out. That's why I keep telling the kids, you just can't listen to the noise. And it's hard because social media has changed everything. Everybody behind a typewriter or a screen, puts their thoughts out there, and it influences kids. And the thing is, we can't worry about any of that. We got to worry about us. We got to worry about doing the same things we did this week that we did last week, that we did the week before, that we'll do next week. Charleston Southern is a program. They were 6-6 in 2019. They were 2-2 last spring. They're 1-1 here. I think they have 2 surprising games. I think that surprising that they beat the Citadel the way they did at the Citadel. Surprising that they lost the way they did to Monmouth. Monmouth is a good football program. They're a ranked team. I expected that game to be very close and Charleston Southern to have a chance to win it. They turned the ball over some and it got away from them. But they're going to come in here. This is their Super Bowl. They're well coached. Their kids play hard. They're older. We've got to respect our opponent, and we've got to do a great job this week of preparing to go out there and play better this week than we did last week. And that's the thing that hopefully the kids have learned at this point, that they got to listen to their coaches. I mean, I've been in this game on both sides. I've been the favorite and I've been the underdog, and we've won some games as the underdog. It's probably one of the reasons I'm standing here today. You got to respect your opponent each week, and so I think that's just so important. And we can't get ahead of Tuesday's practice. We've got to have a great afternoon this afternoon. We got to correct the things we did poorly the other night. We got to improve upon the things we did well. We got to push ourselves to get better today, and that's you really can't get beyond that.
Coach, just to step back to Saturday night after the game, gave the game ball out. Can you tell us just about that and what that moment was kind of like for you guys?
Well, it's everybody knows it was a tough week last week. It's been a tough couple of weeks. It's a tough week this week for Miles Berry and his family, and certainly the thing that he was adamant about all throughout the last couple of weeks was his dad wanted him to play. And he wanted to play. He wanted to be with his teammates. He wanted to make the trip with them. He didn't want to come up later. He wanted to be on the flight going up there. He wanted to play in the ball game. And I think, I think it says a lot about him that he was able to handle it from a maturity standpoint, from a mental standpoint. But I also think it says a lot about the culture inside of our locker room, that's the place that he feels the safest and the most supported. And like I said, it just happened, he's FaceTiming with his mom, and I came around to talk to him, and just seeing her face and the joy on her face, because I've been through it. It was 2 years ago last week that I lost my dad. So, it's a tough time for him right now, and he's going to need all of us. This week he's going to need all of us for the next 2 months, because it's we've all been through that process.
Mike, you guys had a lot of success in the fourth quarter, digging out of that 17-point hole, running that fast-paced, up-tempo offense. Has there been any discussion with you and your coaches about, I know you can't do that in an entire game, but maybe
Right.
doing it a little more often than just towards the end or when you're from behind? It seemed to be so successful.
Well, to a degree. I mean, we made some mistakes there during that tempo session also. But you know, we tried to tempo against App some. We tempoed against South Carolina at times. I mean, it's part of our offense, and so we got to do a better job with it. I thought that we made a couple of mistakes in tempo the other night that we got to get corrected. But there's times that we're going to go fast. There's times that we're going to go slow. We weren't trying to go fast there at the end. We were trying to burn more clock than we actually burned. But it's part of our spread offense is to be the ability to change speeds.
Been a lot of talk about Shane, but Audie had some huge catches as
Yeah.
well, and I know he's put in a ton of work. So
Yep.
how important was it for him, and how good for him to have kind of that in-game success in a crucial moment?
Well, I think we're all excited for him just because we've all seen all the work that he's put in. We watch him every day. I thought he had his best week of practice last week. He and I talked about it on Friday. He was a game captain for the game, and I thought he went out and played his best game probably since he's been here. The touchdown that got nullified by the penalty, I didn't agree with the call. I thought that he made a good play right there on that play, but I thought that he made some big catches down the stretch and made some big plays without the ball. So it was good to see him because we're going to need more than just one guy. We need all those guys, and it was good to have the Shane Calhouns and the Audie Amatosios and those guys come through making plays. It really helped our offense.
With Keaton Mitchell, is he one of those guys now where he's going to have 7-8 runs and somewhere in there one could go 60, 70 yards? I mean, in that game it was kind of just an off tackle inside play that all of a sudden he breaks.
It was basic inside zone is what it was. I mean, it's he set the linebacker up. The linebacker rocked back a little bit, and the guard was able to overtake his outside shoulder, and all of a sudden there was a crease there, and he hit it. I mean, we talked about during preseason camp because we watched out there on the practice field. Every time he touches the ball, he has a chance to hit a home run, and it's I thought that he and Rajay both played their best games the other night. I think they're both improving. I think that we gave them a little more space the other night, both in the run game and the pass game. So we want to continue to get those guys in situations where they're in space with the football.
Coach, this week's opponent, is there a personal aspect to you that you really want to beat these guys more than just you really want to beat these guys?
Well, I've got some history with them, so yeah. No, it's I got a text from the head coach at the Citadel yesterday, so he'd like to see us win this game also.
The hit on CJ on the sidelines, it maybe looked like targeting on review. Any idea why that wasn't looked at from when you watched the film? What did you think?
Well, it was reviewed, and I was venting my opinion pretty strongly as I walked over to check on CJ. I mean, I thought no doubt it should have been a flag. There should have been something, if not targeting, then unnecessary roughness. As the ball was beyond him. He's a defenseless player. I mean, at that point, it is a penalty. We all make mistakes. They missed it. So they did say on the review, though, and I talked to the director of officials, that it would not classify as targeting, and that's, they're the pros with that stuff. So that's, they'll make those calls. But I thought it should have been a flag.
I guess we can ask Coach Harold tomorrow, but a game like that's so high scoring in a shootout, you give up, I think it was 647 yards of offense, but win the game. How do you take pride in winning a game like that, despite there being maybe some ugly numbers on the other side?
You forced 3 big turnovers. You probably should have had 6. I mean, really and truly. I mean, we dropped 3 interceptions, and we got to make those plays. But you made the play that counted, and that was the interception at the end to win the ball game. So, the days are long gone. I mean, I can remember back, at Lenore Rhine, our defense one year gave up like 200 and some yards of offense a game. Those days are gone. With the spread offense and the rules and the stuff, and now it's turnovers and stops. Getting turnovers and getting stops, winning in the red zone. And there's lots of things we need to do better this week. I didn't think we did a great job triggering last week. We've done a phenomenal job the week before against South Carolina. I thought we missed some tackles, we misfit some stuff. We did a poor job at times with some things. Now, Marshall had a lot to do with that. I mean, that tailback was better than we give him credit going into the game. I think he's really good. The quarterback we knew was good. He's really good. Those receivers, number 11, the tight end, they're good players. So they had a lot to do with that. But we can definitely play better defensively. It's just the game has changed to a degree. It's still about you got to play defense, but it's just how you play it. I mean, the play that Tegan Wilk made on the receiver going into the end zone, punching the ball out, what a great play. And Jaquan recovered that one. Malik's pick on the post ball down the middle of the field. 2 plays later, Keaton hits the home run, 88-yarder. What a big play right there. And then, of course, the one at the end with Jaquan, in a coverage that we work a lot every week, because you get down there inside the 15-yard line, that's where you got to make your money. And he made the play.
Anything else for Coach?
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. See you Saturday.